Hello, it's Mama, and Mama's in her corner. And in my corner, oh, look at that. Mr. Mouse has joined us today in the corner. He's also somebody that likes to, he loves Mama's stories. And he loves to sit with Mr. Mainly Moose. It's his best friend, it's his bestie. And, oh, he's got big ears for listening, little eyes, and no eating anything when you're in here. If you find a snack, don't eat it. All right, go sit down there, Mr. Mouse, and enjoy your friend and listen to our story. Today's story I chose was Lost in the Museum. I particularly like this story because I've taken a lot of students and a lot of children to the museum, and sometimes somebody gets lost. They have to use the bathroom, or they find something they really wanted to look at again, and it happens. But we always find them, and they aren't very far away because we always send somebody with them, but they like to think they're lost. So this is called Lost in the Museum. We hope if you go to a museum, you stay with your parents or whoever takes you to the museum, or your mama or your grandma, grandpa, and stay with them so that you don't get lost, because you could miss some valuable time and maybe some cool stuff if you get lost. So this is a big place, the teachers told the first grade. But if we all stay together, nobody will get lost in the museum. Danny said to Jim, "I know where the dinosaur is. Come on, I'll show you." Jim said never seen a dinosaur, so he ran after Danny. And Willie and Sammy and Paul and George, oh, they were right behind him. They did too. Anna Maria and Sarah started after them. "Come back, you'll get lost." Danny slid down the hall very fast, and he slid into a room at the end. Willie and Sammy, Paul and George and Jim, Anna Maria and Sarah all ran after him. But Jim stopped. He put his head way back and he looked up. Jim heard Willie say, "That is some big chicken." "It's not a chicken, it's a dinosaur," shouted Danny. Oh my goodness, it is a dinosaur. Jim came around the corner. The dinosaur had his arms up over his head. The dinosaur's teeth were smiling a fierce smile. Paul said, "Look out, Jim, he's going to get you." Jim turned and ran as fast as he could. "Jim, stop." "I was only fooling," Paul called. Now, some of you who like dinosaurs probably even know what kind of dinosaur that is. I think I do too. It might start with the letter T. The kids came running after Jim. "Don't worry, he won't hurt you," said Sammy. "That's right," Willie told Jim. "They don't have dinosaurs anymore." Paul put his arm around Jim. Anna Maria said, "It's silly to be scared." And Jim knew it was silly. He wished he could be brave. "Come on, let's find the others," George said. "I think we're lost," said Sarah. "I know where to go," said Danny. They all hurried after him down the big hall. There were just too many rooms. "Now you've got us lost," Anna Maria said to Danny. "My toe hurts. Maybe we'll have to stay here all night," Paul said. Oh goodness, they probably turned the lights off on them. Jim thought about staying all night with a dinosaur. "I'll go find the teacher," he said. "You stay here in case she comes." Jim went into many rooms. He kept his eyes shut a little bit. If he saw the dinosaur, he could shut them really tight. A big boy was looking at bird eggs. Jim said, "Have you seen my teacher?" Before long, the big boy could answer. Jim had a red coat way down the hall. Margaret had a red coat. Jim ran to see, but somebody else was wearing Margaret's coat. Oh, Jim was tired. He had to find the teacher. He had to bring her back to the kids. He ran on and on. Jim saw penguins playing in the snow like the first graders. He saw a mother and a father and a child and a deer. A child deer, the father stood with one foot in the air. Jim stopped to rest. The room was dark. At first he couldn't see, and then a gray whale swam right over his head. He winked at Jim as if he had something nice to tell him. Jim looked all the way to the whale's tail. A lady was there with many children. Jim, everybody called. "Oh, Jim, we've been looking all over for you." The teacher said, "Where have you been?" "Where are the other children?" "Oh, I'll take you there," said Jim. Jim started back. He went past the penguins, past the deer. This way, no, that way. There they were, George, Willie, Sammy, Anna Maria, Danny, Paul, and Sarah. When they saw their teacher, George and Sarah began to cry. She hugged them. If we hadn't stayed together, this wouldn't have happened. If we had stayed together, she meant. Willie and Sammy said, "Jim was brave. He went to find you." Yes, the teacher said Jim was very brave. But next time, remember, if we all stay together, nobody will get lost. Oh, they were so glad to be found. Everybody went to have lunch in the cafeteria. You could choose chicken and dumplings, crisp fried fish, or beef stew with 2 vegetables, but they all chose the hot dogs. So, in our city and in lots of cities, there are museums. We have a children's museum, we have an art museum, and we have a couple of other kinds of museums too, but I'm not sure they're for children, they're for adults, some of those the older things. So anyway, I hope that you had a good time and felt like you were there, but I hope you weren't lost. Next time, what do? Stay with the teacher. Bye-bye.